Hello everyone, slightly different video from me today. We're getting back into wearing, back into fashion. I am actually in the process of filming another wearing video, but it's taking me a very long time, so we're gonna jump in with this one. I think wearing's been having a couple of updates, all of which have been really good. Number one, you can now add the date that you bought the item, which before I was just doing manually in the comments. You can also actually put in the main thing that something was gifted rather than I had to do it as like a separate hashtag before. Instead of being limited to 3 colors, I think you can now do, I don't know if it's an endless amount, but definitely more. I think those are the main 3 things that I noticed, but I'm sure there have been other things as well. So that's all been very excited. I have gone back and added the dates and the gifted. I haven't necessarily added all the colors to everything yet because that was like the next update. But I've got my cup of tea ready to go. I've got about 50 minutes left on my SD card and we're gonna try and crack on with just looking at some statistics. I think I've had wearing for a year and a half now. I think I switched over to wearing in February 24. Before that I had a closet probably to the day 2 years ago. I think I started, no, maybe it was June. But around 2 years long, I've been tracking my clothes, which is crazy actually having said that out loud. And in wearing, I could put in when I sort of had scheduled things before, so I can say how many times I've worn it since, call it June 2023. So obviously there is a lot of data that we are missing, but just based on that, I want to have a look at a couple of things. So the things I'm most curious about, number one, is the average age of my wardrobe. I think the average will be about 7 years. Now, when I've been putting in the dates, I haven't been totally accurate. There's a lot that I've put as 2018 because I know I had them in my last year in Australia, but they are almost certainly older. I just didn't have a specific date. So anything I wasn't sure of, but I knew was from before I left, went into 2018. I think between 2018 and 2025, I've been accurate. Anything prior, most of it is either based on like when my latest picture or my earliest picture was wearing something, or just sort of knowing, oh, I think I got it, you know, when I was doing so and so. So it's not going to be completely accurate, but even given that information, I think most of my cupboard is from before I moved, I'm pretty sure. I'm also curious to find out the most common color. Again, this won't be super accurate because I am currently limited. Well, I thought I was limited to only 3 colors per item of clothing. And I've just realized there will probably be a sway because of jewelry. I've tried to include most, if not all of my jewelry, which means there's going to be a lot of silvers and golds that obviously aren't like, you know, actual colors that I wear. So aside from those colors, I reckon blue or any like shade of blue, because there are different shades. Maybe green, and then definitely like black and white, I would guess. And then the thing I'm like most eager to check, because I think I've got a pretty good percentage on this, is how many of my items were gifted and how many were pre-loved. So that could be anything from I got it from my sister to I got it at a charity shop. And I think between those 2 percentages, it's got to be at least like 85% of my wardrobe. I really don't think that more than 15% is stuff I bought myself, brand new. Because gifted is also just like things my parents bought. So I really don't think there's gonna be I actually think it might be even less than 15% that's new. And then finally, obviously, I'm also curious about my cost per wear. I reckon it's gonna be under £1 per item, but again, I think some things like the jewelry might sway this, or like a couple of really fancy items that I, you know, wear once a year, if that, but obviously they were more expensive. But on the flip side of that, there's a lot of items of clothing that don't have prices. Again, I did my best to guess where possible, but there's going to be a lot where I didn't know, and so I've just left it at 0. So with all that information, let's have a look. I'm excited. I hope I can get all this information. I haven't actually looked at wearing in a long time. Well, in terms of looking at the statistics and stuff. Let me share my screen with you so you can all watch along. I had to put a description, so I just put YouTuber amongst other things, but I don't love that description at all. But I did have to pick 3 words that described my cupboard, and I went with playful, casual, and comfortable. I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, I chose it. Right, let's have a look. My stats, let's go. Okay, my wardrobe value, it says, is £1,100, give or take. I think that's completely wrong. I think that's maybe the value it was at the time when I bought items, but as I say, most of these items I think are at least 7 years old, and so definitely don't have that value anymore. Interestingly, my wardrobe usage is only at 70%. That's actually a lot lower than I was expecting. Can I break this down? Ooh, that's fascinating. So my tops are definitely the biggest, followed by dresses, which makes sense. I'm surprised tops are so high, actually. Maybe that's all my running gear, because that's not a separate category. That would make sense. Bottoms being £233 just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think I even have that many bottoms. Anyway, so the 70% I'm surprised by, but I have logged like things that are in Australia, so obviously I wear them like once every 18 months. And then the outfits is not important because I just create those when I use them. I don't understand how there's 3 outfits that I haven't worn, to be honest. But let's have a look at what's in my wardrobe. Ooh, okay, oh, okay. Yes, this is what I wanted to see. So 10% is new. So that means 90% of my clothes were either gifted to me by people, and I have told people to stop gifting me things, or pre-loved. Amazing, I'm so proud of that. 18% pre-loved, and then 71% is gifted. What does breakdown show me? Oh, interesting. But I don't understand. Oh, this just shows all my clothes. Never mind. So in terms of colours, it says silver and white. Silver is 100% just my jewellery because that's the earrings and the necklaces. Whereas I think for gold, I have probably the same amount of earrings but less necklaces. But if you combine the different shades of blue that are on there, like there's 4 different shades of blue in that pie chart, that's got to be more. I would say that's even more than the silver and white combined. Can't see a breakdown of it though, so. But still, I'm not surprised by that. I'm pleased. I'm surprised by how much yellow actually, unless that's gold. Maybe that's gold. Can I see? No. The other colours all make sense to me. My usage, let's have a look. Oh, okay, most worn items, that's got to be the boots, yeah. Leggings, of course, a jacket, sure, another pair of leggings. Yeah, I mean, this is all, yeah, the necklace I'm wearing now. My trainers, I'm surprised, but that must have been from all my running, sort of the last stint I did. Yeah, this all, the earrings I wear all the time. I'm surprised by that sort of jumpery thing, zip up. But that makes sense. The least worn items, I mean, it's not true. Like that striped top, I wore loads when I first got it, 7 years ago. And then all the Christmas earrings, yeah, I haven't worn loads, but we've got evidence of me wearing them sort of during the Christmas period and in Christmas jobs. So I don't agree with that. And like, yeah, a lot of these I used to wear. I mean, those items are all in Australia, so it's okay. Most popular pairings, yeah, it's the boots. The boots with the necklace, obviously, and the boots with the coat. Just makes sense. Those are like I wear my boots. How many times does it say I've worn my boots? 469 times in 2 years. I mean, that is most, that's a year and a half, a year and a third. So I don't think that's so bad or weird. Top brands I wear, interesting. But again, like a lot of these clothes, I don't have the brand for anymore. But Primark, fair enough. Boohoo, I'm kind of surprised by that. But I did go through a phase before I left Australia where we bought quite a few Boohoo items, so that's probably why. And not just me, my sister and my mum as well. And so if I got any hand-me-downs from them, that would also go into this. Say&A and Cotton On, like I think I've got 2 items from each of those. Does it show me? No. So I don't think it counts towards very much. Wardrobe longevity, I don't even know what this means. Oh, oldest items. Oh, I love this. I mean, again, some of this was guessed, but it was all educated guesses. So that necklace, for example, that first one that's 16.4 years old, is actually a lot older because I got it from a family member who passed away in 2008, or end of 2008, so I presumed that I got it in 2009, early 2009. Those gold earrings could be even older. I just know that it was sort of, I know approximately how old I was, but it could be give or take a year or 2. Same with the armbands, like, yeah, that's just all. A lot of this is guesswork, but look at that. I mean, I've got loads that are more than 14 years old, which is just crazy. But why can I not? Okay, so I can't find out the average cost per wear, which is kind of odd. You'd think that that would be something I could see. And I can't find out the average age, which is a shame. Let me see if I can find it anywhere else. No, I can't see it. So that's annoying. Let me switch this off and we'll film a little outro. All right, so it is a shame that I can't find those things out, but I do love seeing all the other statistics, and with the way wearing's going, I really do get the impression that they're constantly looking to improve and, working on these things and getting feedback. So hopefully the next time I do one of these, we'll have some more information. I love using wearing to track my clothes. I really enjoy having something that says like, okay, this is my cost per wear per item. And I, every so often, not very often, but every so often I use the feature of least worn. And then it's also a good idea to see what am I not wearing? And like, theoretically, if I could just pull the trigger, what can I get rid of? Or what should I try and incorporate more? And I've definitely noticed in the last year or so that I've been sort of experimenting a bit more with what I've got. I've not bought many new items in the last long time, but I'm finding new ways, either new ways to wear items I already have, or finding ways to wear items that I have and have just been hiding in the cupboard. I have 2 items that I love well, I do love. One of them is the rainbow jumpsuit that I have worn, but not super frequently, like very infrequently. But I do love it. It just doesn't fit quite right. And then the other one is a dress I got from my mum, which is the most gorgeous, like fancy dress. I wouldn't wear it very much, but on the right occasion it would be gorgeous. But I'm gonna try and get both of those altered. So I'm hoping that will happen next week. And then maybe I'll get to wear at least the rainbow thing more. But hopefully also the fancy dress if I have, you know, fancy dress opportunities. Anyway, that is all from me for today. Let me know if you use Wearing or another wardrobe app. There are so many out there. I started with a closet and then it limited you to 100 items and I didn't like that at all. So I very painstakingly had to move everything over to Wearing. And luckily, thankfully, I've been pleased with Wearing. I know I had a couple of, you know, issues at the start, but they were all things I could work through. And as I say, they've very much improved sort of a lot of those things as time has gone on. I know there's one called like Indie or something. Based off what I've seen on it, I've not used it, but based off what I've seen on it, I don't think I'd love the layout or like the interface or anything. And I don't know, there must be others, I'm sure. It's a great idea for a platform. With these updates that have been happening, I'm really warming to Wearing and I hope it continues to improve, and I really hope that it doesn't do an A closet where it suddenly kicks us all out. But if you've got the patience for it, because it does take a long time to log all your clothes, but if you've got the patience for it, I absolutely recommend doing something like this. I think it's so good to have an insight into your wardrobe, and I'm not someone who's worried about buying too much. As I say, on average, I probably gain about 4 items of clothing in a year, but I probably buy not even one, I would say. So it's not like I'm worried about overconsumption or anything like that. It's more just, it's fun and it's a nice way to sort of be aware of what you're wearing and what you're using and theoretically what you can get rid of. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!